Welcome to this episode of Matthew 7:7 Small Portions, where in less than 20 minutes, I'll discuss a single topic of Yahuwah's Word. So join me as together we seek Him and learn to walk in the eternal way of our Shepherd and our mighty King, Yahushua HaMashiach. This episode comes from a request of a member of our channel. I was asked to make a video on what Yah's Word says about tithing. So in this message, I'm going to answer this question, but I'll go a bit deeper by including what His Word teaches us about both tithes and offerings, or in a single word, giving. For those of you who don't know me, you're probably thinking, I knew it. Just another one of those snake oil salesmen who sells the gospel. One of those dime a dozen so-called preachers looking to get rich by panhandling for money. Now if that thought did cross your mind, I hate to disappoint you, because that's not what I do. While I do provide methods for brothers and sisters to donate to this ministry, I don't and will never sell merchandise, charge anyone for the tools I create or the resources I provide, and I never ask anyone for money for myself. As it's written, silver and gold have I not, but what I have freely received I freely give. So before we turn to Yah's Word, let's take a look at what some of the most popular Christian televangelists have told you. We'll start with the father of the prosperity gospel, Oral Roberts, who apparently, unlike me, has much silver and gold.
Look on us. Hey. Silver and gold have we plenty.
In this clip, you'll hear Kenneth Copeland and Jesse Duplantis talking about why it's necessary for them to own private jets and never travel commercially.
You couldn't have done that on an airliner.
No, sir. No way.
Stand up and say, what'd you say, Lord?
No.
Okay, no, yeah. And the guy sitting over there saying, what the hell does he think he's doing? You can't do that.
You can't do that.
No. That's why we're on that airplane. We can talk to God.
Glory to God.
It's true. You can't manage that today.
Right.
This dope-filled world.
Right.
And get in a long tube with a bunch of demons.
Right. That's exactly the
And
truth.
it's deadly.
And while there are thousands of examples in this clip from Joyce Meyer, you'll see that she's twisted the New Testament and tells you that you should be begging to give her your money.
We want you to know, brethren, about the grace of God that has been given among the churches of Macedonia. For in a severe test of affliction, their abundance of joy and their extreme poverty have overflowed in a wealth of generosity on their part, for they gave according to their means, as I can testify, and beyond their means of their own accord, begging us earnestly for the favor of letting them take part in the relief of the saints. Come on, beg me to let you give.
What profound teaching. Go without, so I can have abundance. I don't care if you're poor. You're probably a demon anyway. These lying preachers tell you that if you sow seed to them, you'll be blessed. But if you don't, God is sure to bring a curse upon you. They said it themselves. They don't care if you're poor. Their doctrine teaches you to fear the lying preacher, not the one you should fear, and that is Yahuwah. They go as far as to say fear is not of Elohim, but rather the spirit of the devil. Based on these clips, it appears Jesse Duplantis isn't the only one who God directly talks to. I don't know what we'd do without these liars to correct all the mistakes Yah must have made in His set-apart scriptures. For example, when He told us to fear Him, because this is the beginning of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. What these men and women are doing is teaching doctrines that inherently corrupt the motivation of the giver. Their teaching causes the one giving to be driven by the promise of earthly prosperity for themselves. But I assure you, the only way you will be prospered this way is if you choose to set aside every commandment Yah has given us in His Word and do as these liars do. All you'll need to do is go on television and not blink an eye while you lie to millions of people, telling them that the devil will get them if they don't give their money to you. The truth is that these preachers and many others like them are exactly those Shaul is speaking of in his first letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verses 1 through 2, where he writes, Now the Ruach speaks expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing ruachoth and doctrines of devils, speaking lies in hypocrisy, having their conscience seared with a hot iron. And in his second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 2, he details what departing from the faith looks like in these latter times, where he writes, "For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lusts shall they heap to themselves teachers, having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and shall be turned unto fables." What you may not realize is that Shaul is summarizing the words given to one of Yah's prophets in Yeshayahu, which is Isaiah, chapter 30, verses 9 and 10. It is written, "This is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the Torah of Yahuah, which say to the seers, see not, and to the prophets," which means proclaimers in Hebrew, "Proclaim not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, proclaim deceits." Can you see? If you believe these liars and false teachers, it's you, my brother or sister, that both Yeshayahu and Shaul are writing about. I pray today is the day his Ruach HaKodesh open your eyes to his truth. You not only be hearers of his word, but doers also, by departing from this evil, as written in Job chapter 28, verse 28. And unto man he said, "Behold, fear of Adonai, that is wisdom, and to depart from evil is understanding." So with all that said, let's now examine Yah's word to learn his truth about giving. Part 1. What is a tithe? In Christianity, tithing is synonymous with 10%. That's because it's translated from the Hebrew word masar, which literally means 1/10. Thanks to the prosperity gospel, most Christians believe it to be obligatory to give to a church to support it. However, giving 10% of your money in the form of a tithe was never commanded by Yah. That's because all things are Yahuwah's. He is in need of nothing. As it's written in Deuteronomy chapter 10, verse 14, "Behold, the heavens and the heaven of heavens belongs to Yahuwah Eloheka," that is, Yahuwah your Elohim, "the earth also with all that therein is." And in Psalm chapter 50, verse 12, he puts it this way, "If I were hungry, I would not tell you, for the world is mine and the fullness thereof." But he provides a concise definition for giving in verse 14 of the same chapter. "Offer unto Elohim thanksgiving and pay your vows unto El Elyon," that is, Most High Elohim. In truth, Yahuwah commanded that all his people offer up 1/10 of all their increase as heave offerings. The tithes were to be given to the priests, who were the overseer of the tithes. The priests would then ceremonially raise and lower the tithes to Elohim in thanksgiving, that is, a heave offering. They'd be stored in their storehouses, but then be distributed specifically to widows, orphans, and strangers among his people, or in other words, to those people in need of the basic things in life. This is commanded of his people in Torah. We find a witness to this command in Leviticus chapter 27, verses 30 through 34, where we find what is to be tithed. And it's written, "And all the tithe of the land, whether the seed of the land or the fruit of the tree, is Yahuwah's. It is holy, that is set apart unto Yahuwah. And if a man will at all redeem aught of his tithes, he shall add thereto the 5th part thereof. And concerning the tithe of the herd or of the flock, even of whatsoever passes under the rod, the 10th shall be holy unto Yahuwah. He shall not search whether it be good or bad, neither shall he change it. And if he change it at all, then both it and the change thereof shall be holy. It shall not be redeemed. These are the commandments which Yahuwah commanded Moshe for the children of Yasharel in Mount Sinai." In Deuteronomy chapter 26, verse 12, we discover exactly the purpose of tithing, where it's written, "When you have made an end of tithing all the tithes of your increase the 3rd year, which is the year of tithing, and have given it unto the Levi, the stranger, the fatherless, and the widow, that they may eat within your gates and be filled." You see, tithing is an act of obedience and worship of Elohim. It's not just done only to worship him, but it's done as an act to honor Yahushua HaMashiach himself, as he reveals to us in Matthew chapter 25. For I was hungry, and you gave me meat. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. Naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came unto me. Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Adonai, when did we see you hungry and feed you, thirsty and gave you drink? When did we see you a stranger and take you in, or naked and clothe you? Or when did we see you sick or in prison and come unto you? And the king shall answer and say to them, Amen, I say unto you, inasmuch as ye have done it unto one of the least of these my brethren, ye have done it unto me. So his word clearly reveals that Masar, or tithing, was commanded to be given and stored for the stranger, the fatherless, the widow, and the poor. Tithes are to be given to provide food and housing, transportation, and support to those who have the most needs. There's really nothing more to it than this. To do so for any other reason is nothing more than a lie. Part 2. Minchah, or offerings. As with nearly all Christian doctrines, the truth from Yah's Torah has been hidden or overtly corrupted. To most Christians, the word offering, or sometimes translated as oblation, aligns perfectly with Webster's definition, where it's defined as a contribution, especially of money, to a church. But the truth is easily discovered in the Hebrew word minchah. Minchah is an offering, and it's found in Yah's Torah. It's defined as a voluntary donation offered in joy and happiness to Yahuwah. The Christian doctrine of offerings puts the emphasis on monetary donation, and when the emphasis is put on money, the truth from Torah is completely hidden. Torah instructs us that minchah is done with a prayer that comes from a joyful heart rather than the desire for accumulation of wealth. The false Christian doctrine teaches that physical service or financial offerings directly result in favor from Elohim, and as I mentioned in the intro, inherently corrupts the motivation of the giver. It's written in Proverbs chapter 3 verse 9 that we are to honor Yahuwah with our riches, and with our first fruits, all of our increase. Torah instructs us to give the same way we serve Yahuwah, and that is with joy, a joy that he places in us, a joy that money will never provide. Minchah is a form of thanksgiving that comes from one's heart, accompanied by the material offering, which can be food, livestock, silver, or gold, as in Proverbs 3:9. It's to be done to show one's sincere devotion and service, in acknowledgement that we understand that all we have comes from his hand. True minchah demonstrates that our hearts are genuinely thankful for any and all blessings provided by Elohim, with no expectation for return. Part 3. How to give according to Yahuwah's word. I'll summarize what we learned from Yah's word regarding giving. For tithes, once our basic needs are met, we are to give 10% of the abundance to the poor. This can be done by giving food, clothing, furniture, even cars. You can also give money, as it's written in Exodus chapter 35 verse 5. Take ye from among you an offering unto Yahuwah. Whosoever is of a willing heart, let him bring it, an offering of Yahuwah, gold and silver and brass. If you do, make sure you're giving it to a trustworthy steward, not one who's going to use it to enrich themselves, but who will faithfully distribute every penny to those Yah commanded it be given. At the end of the day, it's up to each person to give whatever you want to give, as an act of obedience and service, as a form of worship to Yahuwah. As importantly, for to do so with a joyful heart, with no expectation of getting anything in return. In giving minchah, you will be blessed, but it may not be in this life. And if that's not okay with you, then you're really not giving minchah as Yah instructed anyway. In fact, you're giving in vain. And as written in Malachi 3:8, you are robbing Yahuwah, where it's written, Will a man rob Elohim? Yet ye have robbed me. But ye say, Wherein have ye robbed me? in tithes and offerings. In other words, brothers and sisters, tithes and offerings, according to Yah's word, are intended to be given using our abundance that He has blessed us with in order to help carry the burdens of others. Whether or not they're a brother or sister in Yahusha or a stranger to us of the nation of Yasharel, we're instructed to give both with a willing and a joyful heart in obedience to Him. And it's written in Proverbs chapter 21:13, "Whoso stops his ears at the cry of the poor, he also shall cry himself, but shall not be heard." In Deuteronomy 15:11, "For the poor shall never cease out of the land. Therefore I command you, saying, you shall open your hand wide unto your brother, to your poor and to your needy in your land." As for this ministry, you may have noticed that I never ask for donations in my videos. That's because I trust Yah to provide for my needs. And while I do provide methods for those of you that have supported me, I want to take a moment just to thank you from the bottom of my heart personally. I truly don't have the words to express how much your generosity blesses me. And to those who may feel led to do so, to both, I want to be transparent to all of you as to where your donations go. As the primary purpose of this ministry is to preach the gospel of salvation through Yahushua HaMashiach and teach the commandments of Yahuwah to any and all willing to hear and see. So all donations given to the General Donation Fund go directly towards this mission by providing food, shelter, and meeting the basic needs of myself and my children that I take care of. Those donations allow me to continue to serve you in this capacity through this ministry full time. They also pay for things like the ministry website, the tools I use for virtual and in-person meetings, and all the things required to create these videos. The second mission of this ministry is to serve those in need by providing towards the basic needs of their living. So at least 1/10 of whatever I receive goes into the second fund, which is designated for tithing. This fund is established to provide the basics to anyone in need, as described in His Torah, and it's distributed in a first-come, first-served manner. It's available for anyone to donate to as well. And I assure you, none of the money in this fund is used or will ever be used by myself or the ministry. In addition to this, and as a tool to enable anyone choosing to serve Yahuwah in obedience through true tithing and offering, you'll find on my website a marketplace unlike any other. Our marketplace is not a place you can buy or sell. In fact, it's forbidden, but rather it's a place designed to connect those who can help to those who need help. Here you can post a resource that you have or request help for a need that you have and directly connect with one another, ensuring that our burdens are not carried alone. If you'd like to tithe through this ministry or support my work directly, all the links for donations are provided in the description box, as well as a link to the marketplace on the website. But whether you choose to support this ministry financially or not, or choose to support another, remember to do so first with the needy in mind, and then do so in prayer with a joyful heart, being ever thankful for the blessings Yahuwah has given to you. And if you do choose to support this ministry, whether you give $1 or 1,000, there are no special memberships or exclusive privileges that come with support. I do all I can to make myself equally available to any and all that need help or want to learn more about the gospel of salvation. I'll close this message with a prayer for you from His Word, found in Numbers chapter 6, verse 24 through 27. Yahuwah bless you and guard you. Yahuwah make His face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yahuwah lift up His countenance upon you and give you peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Yasharel, and I will bless them. So until next time, Shalom.